Whoa, Kyle coming in. Woke up and chose violence today, huh? It's not going to be Chris Bell this week. I don't think it'll be Chris Bell. I'm hoping it's not Chris Bell. Welcome into the pre-race poll. We talk about all things betting for this NASCAR race. Today here at Watkins Glen. I want to go to the Glen. Has anybody been there? I think it'd be a fun place to go watch a race for sure. Definitely be a fun place to go. All right, well, let's get in here. Let's take care of some of the formalities here. Unfortunately, this is my last Lone Tree. Really bummed about that, but I've been looking forward to this all week. So let's do the poll here. I got to go back to regular beer. I will not quit him. No, Connor, Ryan, Kyle, Kim, what up? Collective Clink. Cheers. Taking a pull. It does feel like a KFB day, doesn't it? I agree. All right, let's get to the rundown here. Well, let's talk about some practice stuff. I want to say that no difference between A and B, right? Can we all agree that really no difference between A and B, other than B did B, I thought, had just slower cars in it. I thought there was more talent in A, and B actually just had a chance to take a look at what A did, like look at telemetry, look at SMT, and figure out, how much further they could drive into the corner. So I would say that B had a slight edge, but I don't think they were faster. I thought there were faster cars in Group A. Did anyone else see anything different? If not, let me know in the comments. But let's start with the rundown. Denny Hamlin. Well, I had old Denny at 30-1 from Monday, and I like that. If you have 30-1, you should like that as well. Now, he was good, but I don't know that he's a top 5 car. I think he's like a 5th place car. So I'm not taking him in matchups or anything like that. I just have that 30-1. I agree with that, Ross. So I like Denny Hamlin. I don't think he's as good as Ty Gibbs, Michael McDowell, or William Byron. Tyler Reddick maybe a little bit better. But just in the A group alone, he doesn't look like a top 3 car. But I still hope he wins. Now, here's the thing. He went out there and figured it out in qualifying, and he was impressive. He ran back-to-back laps that were better than everyone else. So it wasn't a fluke. And I can tell you right now that if there's one driver that you don't think has a top 5 car, but they put it on the pole and you need them to win, it's Denny Hamlin. So I'm okay with that. I hope he wins, but I'm not going to hold my breath because I just think that there are cars that are better. He said he was really good at one lap, but putting it together for an entire race is a completely different thing. I don't know that he's there yet. William Byron. Well, holy cow, did he look fast. He should be the favorite. I mean, wow, that was impressive. He is very fast. William Byron's going to be good. Here is a chance. I was talking about this with Derek Yoder earlier today. I can't get behind a 6-1 price on... I cannot get behind a 6-1 price on William Byron at a road course, but I want to make money off of him. So what are our other options to make money on him? I know I took him top 5 at like minus 105. I love that. I think that's some great protection. There's some other bets that I'll talk about. I don't want to say what they are because I haven't bet them yet. And I can't say it on here anymore. I have to be careful what I say because the lines are going to move. Like if you want me to get on my phone and get a bet out, I can do that. But I can't give away. There is a way I think you can make money on Byron without taking him to win the race. And so you got to think about some auxiliary stuff. Yes, track condition is going to be super important. Tires don't mean anything again. Unfortunately, that's just the world we live in, which sucks. But I think Byron's going to be really good. Also, Michael McDowell. Is it a surprise that he's good? Now, I don't think he's as good as William Byron, but he's a little better than Hamlin. Okay, that's where I think we're at with William Byron or with Michael McDowell. Now, he opened 18-1 this week. So if you're able to jump on that, that's a good price. I think that most places kind of had him like 14 or 15-1 kind of throughout the week. Now he's 8-1, probably properly priced. Brian, I like Michael McDowell this week. Can he go back-to-back? I don't know. But is he going to drive maybe too aggressively and maybe make a mistake? I have no idea. But I think he's going to be good. I have nothing on or against him. Ty Gibbs, he is someone that I bet earlier in the week. I think he got absolutely screwed yesterday. And I am not a Ty Gibbs fan. Let me be very clear on this. I am not a Ty Gibbs guy. I think that he acts like a little bitch in the Xfinity Series. I do like the way he drives in the Cup Series. I think he's gaining respect from guys. He had an incredible car last week. I think he had an incredible car yesterday. I think some of that stuff will help translate. Just I don't know how to quantify it. I think he's one adjustment ahead. That's just kind of how I quantify it. Whether that's, I just feel like he kind of will know where the track is, or I don't know. I like the fact that the guy had a really good car yesterday. In the Xfinity, led a bunch of laps. I think some of that will transfer over. And I think he has a fast car. I think it's a little bit better than Denny Hamlin's. I don't think it's as good as Byron or McDowell, Dinger, Larson. Those guys were all really fast. I did not say Chase Elliott. Keep that in mind. Ty Gibbs is going to be good. Kyle Larson looked awesome. I think with the exception of William Byron, he's kind of the next best guy. Larson's going to be strong. Faded Truex with him yesterday when odds came out. I don't know what that price is now, but I wouldn't want to lay a huge price on that because Truex cannot be as bad as he was in practice. I just don't think that that's a possibility. I like Larson. Larson's going to be really strong today. I like Larson. AJ Allmendinger. I'll tell you what, if he runs laps like he did in practice and he gets clean air, no one's going to pass him. I mean, no one's going to pass him. That is AJ Allmendinger ran 3 laps together. Here's the thing with AJ. He's a head case. Like, what's going to happen? Like, if he gets back in traffic, he's just going to be so pissed. He's going to beat the hell out of his car. Like, this is standard stuff out of Dinger. He's like Kyle Busch on steroids at road courses. I think Dinger arguably did, Ross. I think there's something to be said for the speed that he had. I mean, he had a ton of speed in practice, but we see this out of him. Can he keep it together for an entire race? And he just kind of turns. He struggles to do that, to get good finishes in races. I like him to win. It's kind of checkers or records for Dinger. I feel like that's kind of every time at a road course. I'm not fading Dinger. Don't fade Dinger today, Kyle. I like Larson against Chase. I'll get to Chase in a second, how I feel about him. Chris Bell. I'm not picking Chris Bell today. Again, I even don't know how to quantify. He was okay in practice. I don't know. I'm done with Chris Bell. Like, I'm quitting Chris Bell. This is my formal breakup week. I mean, I picked him to win the last 3 weeks. And yeah, I would agree, Walt, that AJ and Bubba are similar in their mentality. They're mentally, they get in their own way. Chris Bell, I don't know. I have nothing on nor against him. I'm probably just staying away. I'm opinionless. I don't think he's a top 5 car. I think he's probably better than a 12th place car. We'll just see what happens. Tyler Reddick, I've seen Tyler Reddick be faster on road courses. He says he doesn't like this place, and I can't get behind someone that says they don't like the track. Like, if they feel lost here, like, that's, you would never bet on a golfer that says, "Oh, I don't like that course." Like, yeah, I agree there, Big Ross, on that. I don't know. I have nothing on nor against Tyler Reddick today. Again, it'll be interesting. I think he's probably going to run about 8th all day. He might pass a few cars, but I think there's maybe 1 or 2 cars that are behind him that might pass him. Maybe not. Actually, I think that the best 10 cars, with the exception of Corey LaJoie, kind of all qualified in the top 10. Am I wrong? Like, all of these guys. Okay, I'll get to Chase in a second, Big Ross. I'll get to Chase in a second. I think that the top 10 guys, with the exception of LaJoie, like, those are the top 9 cars. Hamlin, Byron, McDowell, Gibbs, Larson, Dinger, Bell, Reddick, Kyle Busch. If I had to pick one that I think was kind of the worst, it would be Bell. But everyone else is super good. Everyone's super good. Corey LaJoie. Well, he's going to the rear now, so there goes his day. Sorry, Corey. You can't really bet on him or against him, so Corey LaJoie is not going to finish in the top 10. Sorry, guys. Yeah, they're all priced accordingly. I agree, Kyle. Yeah, I think there's some higher odds on Reddick too, Brian. I don't know how high he's going to go. Kyle Busch. I like Kyle. He put together a strong, they made an adjustment. He got faster. I think Kyle Busch is going to be really good. He opened at 12. I nabbed that right away. And I like Kyle. I think this is one of Kyle's best tracks as well. I think this is one of his best tracks, including ovals, including like Bristol. Yeah, I agree. He had a lot of speed. After that adjustment, they made one adjustment, came out, and they were really fast. Yeah, Buescher, Connor, I think that's a great point. I think Chris Buescher is probably the 10th best car. Like, he's the 10th. But I don't like Buescher top 10. I'll get to that in a second. But I think you're right. Joey Logano, impressive qualifying for what he did in practice, because I thought he was going to be like, I'm kind of shocked at this. He opened minus 140 on Harvick. That's a bad line. Okay. That Harvick has given up. I feel like SHR just in general just cashed it in after a decent week last week with like Briscoe and some of the guys running better. But I don't know. I have nothing. I just have Logano. I just need to kind of run Logano, like be Logano. Just run 12th to 15th all day today. If you finish in the top 25, you're probably going to beat Kevin Harvick. That's what I think. KFB versus McDowell. I would not fade McDowell. Nope. That is a no-go for me. Bubba had, this is where Bubba, like a place where he could qualify well. Does that make sense? It's not a super technical track. There's not like a ton of like technical turns. So I feel like this is a place where Bubba, if he can get a groove, this is probably his best road course. I don't have his stats right in front of me, but based on, he ran a couple laps in practice that were fine. And yeah, I think I hit all of those, Big Ross. All of those. I faded Harvick across the board, so he'll probably win. Chris Buescher, I think he's like the 10th place car. And here's the argument with Buescher. I don't like Chris Buescher top 10 because I think that he's like clearly the 10th best car. And I think he's clearly the 10th best car, and there's just no room for him in there. So, like, even though you're getting a plus payout on him, he's not better than Kyle Busch. He's not better than Tyler Reddick. He's might be better than Chris Bell, but he's not better than Dinger, Larson, Gibbs, McDowell, Byron, Hamlin. Like, he's going to have to get lucky in order for that to hit. So, if you can find him in a matchup, maybe, but I think he's kind of priced out. I don't know that you can fit him into your card, if that makes sense. Like I said, I think he's like the 10th best car, but like, no better than 10th, but also no worse than 12th. I think he's just going to run 10 to 12th, if I had to guess. Probably going to run 11th. Who knows? Suarez. Oof. I mean, good qualifying, but boy, they unloaded terrible. Like, this is kind of shocking for him. I normally thought he was going to be a little better this week, and they just, in a must-win scenario, they're going to have to figure out something. They're definitely going to have to figure out something to get him to the clean air, because it doesn't look good. Like, for sure. I have my internet literally connected. It says I have slow internet, and it's connected. Gosh, Cox internet's terrible. It's not as fast as Xfinity 5G or 10G or whatever the hell it is. Where are we at? Suarez, struggle. I just nothing on or against him. He has to race better than his car in practice, because car in practice was just not that good. I imagine that they're going to make some changes and that car will get better. Chase Elliott qualified 15th, practiced. They have to do something. You know, a lot of these guys in the must-win scenario, they're going to have to do something crazy. And I think Chase Elliott's one of those guys. His teammates are rocket ships in Byron and Larson. Bowman, not so much. Chase looked about as good as Bowman, maybe a little better than Bowman. This guy, I told myself I'm not fading Chase. So I'm not going to fade Chase. Here's why. He might be a guy that needs a rabbit out there to go get. And if he doesn't have someone in practice right in front of him to go catch, he's not going to be as fast. But all of a sudden, you put him in the race, and he's going to start picking up spots. And I think he's going to do it quickly. I'm not going to fade him. I'm not going to bet on him. You know, if he can go out there and start making some passes and work his way to the front, maybe there's some potential for some live betting there. But he's starting 15th, so he doesn't have a good stall. Not that it's a major deal. Starting 15th, doesn't have a good stall. You're going to have to pass a lot of cars on a track where track position is going to be super important. There's no tire fall off. So once this thing gets strung out, it's going to be hard for him to pick up more than 3 or 4 spots, unless he's a rocket. Well, in that case, I'm going to hammer him live at 5-1. That's my plan. I just don't see it. I don't see him passing. Kyle Busch. maybe Tyler Reddick, maybe Chris Bell. I don't see him passing AJ Allmendinger. I don't see him passing Kyle Larson. I don't see him passing Ty Gibbs or Michael McDowell, William Byron. I think he's like a 7th place car. Connor, that's not bad. Buescher's better than Suarez, but I just wonder if, Suarez could get lucky. I think Buescher's better than Suarez, though, based on practice. Austin Dillon, Todd, for some reason, has a fantasy with Austin Dillon today, and he wants to fade him with wants to fade Eric Jones with Austin Dillon. I just can't get there. I think he's going to be better than him. His practice times were better, but I don't know. I think Dillon's just going to be a non-factor. Austin Cindric, I hope you guys didn't listen to Dirty Modo because they steered you right into an Austin Cindric over Denny Hamlin. Well, now you can get that at plus 180 if you want. I did not understand the hate for Denny Hamlin after that. But Cindric has just not shown the same speed at road courses this year that he did last year. I don't know if it's just Ford in general. That's a possibility. But then you also see Michael McDowell and Chris Buescher winning races. So it might not be Ford. It might just be Penske. Or maybe it's Austin Cindric. Maybe everyone else has gotten a lot better. Alex Bowman, I thought he would qualify a little better. He's decent in practice. I don't think he's a top 10 car, but I think he's pretty reliable. I think he's going to probably finish like that. Him and Buescher kind of right around that 12th or 13th place, if I had to guess. Martin Truex Jr., I refuse to think that he's going to be this bad. Like, I had to fade him out of principle because I knew the market was going to move, but I did not see him looking like a 20th place car. He qualified pretty much right where he should have based on his speed and practice. I haven't heard anything about this guy. And if we had talked on Monday or Tuesday or even Friday, hey, Truex is going to win the race and lead all the laps, we'd go like, man, sounds good. That sounded more feasible than him running 20th, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe they are experimenting. I wish we knew that stuff. I wish there was an insider or someone that could help us out with that. But if they're experimenting, well, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. I was talking to Derek about this as well. If Martin Truex Jr. wins this race, we're all going to make a lot of money if you're live betting, right? Because he's going to be fast early. It's not going to be a secret. We're going to be able to jump on him at high odds. So if Truex wins and I lose a Larson matchup against him, that's fine because I think I'll have a lot on him live and I'm okay with that. So anyone that qualifies poorly, but it's still going to be so hard. It's still going to be so hard. Yeah, points championship wrapped up. They could be experimenting. That would make sense. That's a good explanation, but we just don't know for sure. They could just be a little off. Like maybe last week, Denny Hamlin was just off. Like maybe they switched cars. Maybe they just took the 11 from last week and gave it to the 19. I have no idea. Kind of shocked. Justin Haley looked pretty good in practice. I thought, if you're looking for like a back marker, Todd pointed out earlier, Haley doesn't look bad. I think Haley, this is kind of a good run for him. And it makes sense because AJ unloaded really fast too. So it makes sense to me that Haley is fast. And he's a decent road course racer. I trust him. Rockenfeller, pretty good in the 42. Haley's going to the rear. That's right. Good catch. Yeah, I just got a text with all that. People going to the rear. Keselowski, LaJoy, Haley, all those guys are going to the rear, right? So yeah, I don't like Haley as much now. There goes all your value on Haley and LaJoy. Rockenfeller was, certainly better than anyone else that's been in that car. We can't really bet on him. I don't have super high expectations for him, but I think that they're going to have a solid run. He may be able to like a 17th place car. Ross Chastain was solid. He was better than his teammate, which is kind of shocking. Those guys just really slow and they ain't experimenting. That's for damn sure. I think that they put a lot of their resources into that 99 car and then they just unloaded poorly. And so Ross is like, dude, I just got to figure out a way to get a decent finish. They are limping into the playoffs. They are limping in. Ryan Blaney. Blaney looked better than Logano in practice, but then qualified poorly. I think Blaney's all right. This is a track. It's not like, because it's not super technical and not a lot of tire wear, Blaney could be good. And by good, I mean 15th. I have him over Briscoe and when Briscoe and Harvick I just think Briscoe and Harvick are going to be pretty bad. Chastain just got to beat Harvick. I agree. That's all I'm sending him out there to do. We got it. I think it opened at like minus 125. I think it's out to minus 240. But it doesn't matter. Like line movement doesn't matter. Beating the market, it's just it's better. It's like they just don't matter. You want to beat the market, but if you're also kind of dictating the market, then it doesn't matter, right? Like it doesn't matter. So you still got to go out there and win. Brad K, he's going to the rear. Struggled as well. It's weird because normally when Buescher runs good, Brad runs good, but it is clear have and have nots. Have and have nots with Chris Buescher and Keselowski. Keselowski and Harvick are just going to be neck and neck all day, running right around 25th. Is what it looks like. Todd Gilliland struggled. I thought he was going to be better after last week, and he just wasn't. This just showed that maybe he's just better at IMS and not as good here. But, I mean, I think he's only matched up against Justin Haley, and I think Haley had a little bit better car, but he's also going to the rear, so can't really do much with it. Chase Briscoe, thought he was pretty bad. I mean, not fast. 3 laps, pit. 3 laps, pit. Got a little bit faster, but nothing competitive. I mean, I think that, last week was just maybe lightning in a bottle for them. Eric Almirola, also not fast, but in his matchup, he's matched up against Cole Custer. So I think that opened like minus 125. And that's kind of sitting around there. I don't know. Those guys are going to be fighting out for last. Gilly going to the rear too. Okay. Well, then maybe if you wanted to nibble that Haley matchup, I don't think that's going to matter. Stenhouse, old Recce. I mean, what's he going to do from 28th? I have nothing on him nor against him. Same with Alley. Ryan Preece. Man, just SHR was just so bad. Need to drop one off the outright card. Oh, Ian, that is a very difficult question. I don't know, man. You have to have Larson. Okay, it's not Larson. Don't mind the juice. Just need a winner. Well, let me finish this and then I'll address some of these because these are good questions. We're getting like everyone on here is so smart. Like I can't just like BS my way through this. Eric Jones, not that good. I mean, he's on a road course, so he'll be a little better, but it's a fast road course. Harrison Burton, nothing to write home to mom about. Cole Custer or Kevin Harvick. I mean, dude, how bad is that car? Like, how bad is that car? I just don't get it. I hope this isn't one of those races where it's just he's all of a sudden good, because he's done that in the last couple of years. I've had races where I've thought I was just going to fade Harvick across the board, and it's like, oh, look who just made their way into the top 10. I just don't see that happening at all. Let me be clear. I don't see Kevin Harvick. He qualified poorly. He tried too. Like he got qualified by everybody but Cole Custer, Josh Bilicki, and Ty Dillon. Like, ugh, yuck. Not good for SHR at all. That's it. I'm not going to talk about Custer, Bilicki, or Ty Dillon. I don't think that that's important. So if need to drop one off the outright card, it has to be Larson. Ugh. Okay, so I'll say this. You do with this what you want. Ian, this is for you, Dinger KFB. I am biased because I have Kyle Busch at 12-1, and I do not have Dinger. I don't know. I can't help you. I really can't. My gut tells me Kyle Busch will run more consistently than AJ Allmendinger. But if AJ gets to the lead, he's going to put this field to sleep. So you tell me. I mean, they're priced probably similarly, I would imagine, right? I lean Kyle Busch. Remember, I have Kyle Busch, so take that with a grain of salt. But if AJ gets out there and gets to the lead, it's over. It's not over if Kyle Busch gets out there, okay? I think that he's just long run, super solid, but AJ was a rocket for 5 laps in practice. Popcraft saying Gilly might not be going to the rear because it's a brake rotor. Yeah, they can change a brake rotor if it's cracked. Favorite Larson matchup. The price have changed so much. That's important to make sure we're able to. I wouldn't lay minus 200 over Truex. I think he's gonna beat Chase Elliott. I think he's gonna beat Elliott. Logano versus Bowman. I don't like either side of that. I think Bowman's gonna be better than Logano, but Logano at road courses, I feel like Paul Wolfe is just really good at getting a finish. I don't know. I have a pick. Oh, Max Homa, baby. Always Max Homa for sure. Yeah, I would agree with Larson minus 115 on Elliott. Yeah, I think that should be like a minus 140. I have a no fading Elliott thing this week. I just can't do it. Too many times he's looked like this in practice, but he hasn't qualified this poorly before. I don't know. I think Larson's going to be really good. If Larson gets the lead, I think he wins. Like I just think that there's so many guys that are so good, and Chase has to get through. Like he's got to get by Buescher. He's got to get by Kyle Busch, Reddick, Bell, and Dinger just to get to Larson. You'll do it for me. All right. Thanks. Big Ross is going to fade Elliott for me. Thanks. I'll vicariously live through Big Ross. I've been burned too many times on fading Elliott, and I didn't think Elliott was the top 3 car last week. I know that pissed off a lot of people, but you know what? I thought Ty Gibbs was better than him, and maybe even William Byron. Who knows? I mentioned this is my last one of these. I'm so bummed. All right. What other questions we got? Oh, Bet365 is the best. It's the absolute best. Fade and Chase. Oof. I mean, listen. Yeah. I hope Homa wins. That 3-putt yesterday just. Ooh, he missed a 12-incher. That was tough. Any other questions? Oh yeah, Jacob. That's right. You do have Homa. Who's gonna win? My pick. Yeah, you got to have some Larson. You need Larson to run well. Like that's the thing I was talking about is, I'm probably going to have a Larson outright. I think that's going to be a thing. I don't know that I'm going to have a Byron outright. I don't think there will be a ton of yellows. I have Gibbs outright, but I have that at 27, not 12. When it comes to the yellows, no, Big Ross, get out of here. I'm not touching Chris Bell outright. He's going to win today, I'm sure now. Oh, this is getting stressful. I don't know. Yellows, I don't think there's going to be a lot of yellows. I think that there's probably going to be more than last week. That's what I think. But that's not saying much. So I'm going to go with this. I think Kyle Larson wins today. That's my pick. I think Kyle wins. He was good, comfortable on the radio. I thought that Cliff Daniels sounded pretty positive about everything. I think he's going to be racing probably a William Byron to win this thing, and there'll be a hard-charging AJ Allmendinger. So post-race poll when Bell wins? No. I mean, I'm not going to bet against Bell, but don't do this to me. Yeah, I agree. What did Larson do wrong that didn't warrant his, that's kind of what he was before practice and qualifying. He goes out there and he qualifies 5th, looks great in practice, and stays 7-1. What am I missing? In the favorite is Chase Elliott, who's starting 10 spots behind him. Yeah, I know. I'm going. This is the hard-hitting stuff here. More cautions than next week or than last week. All right, let's do one more little cheers. Take a poll. I think Kyle Larson wins it today. He's my pick. You're going KFB, Dinger, Larson, McDowell, Tyrone. I love it. All right, Ian. Thanks for drop by. Connor, Derek, Kyle, Big Ross, all you guys, Jacob. Thanks for coming in, and let's see if we can get to the window. Go Kyle Larson. I am going to take Larson. Yes, I'm going to take Larson before the race starts because I think his odds are going to shrink drastically if he makes a few passes. If he goes by Michael McDowell, it's on. So, all right, cheers.